Hi, I'm VJV from MTV. Our number one hit. Sorry. Our number one hit is
More money, more problems.
I'm just drunk.
By Biggie.
Hi, I'm VJV from MTV. Our number one hit today is More Money, More Problems, featuring Puff Daddy and Mace. Now hit it, big boy.
Go.
Who's hot, who not? Tell me who hot, who sell out in the stores? You tell me who flop, who cop the blue drop, who juice pop lock, who knows they gon' get down to the blue flop. The same old pimp, mates, you know nothing changed but my limp. Can't stop, see my name on the blimp. Guarantee me and sales pulling up a luck. You don't believe I'm in the world, double up. We don't play around, it's a bet, lay it down. Cause they didn't know me 91, bet they know me now. I'm the young Harlem with the Goldie sound. Can't no crazy, hold me down, cooler. School me to the game, man, I know my duty. Stay humble, stay low, blow like Rudy. True pimp, spin no dough on the booty. Yeah, there go Mace, there go your cutie. See me die and see me fly. I call all the shots, rip all the spots, rock all the rocks, and top all the drops. And I'm thinking now when all the stops. You never home, gotta call me on the yacht. 10 years from now, we'll still be on top. Yo, I thought I told you that we won't stop. Now what you gonna do with a crew that got money much longer than yours, and a team much stronger than yours? Violate me, this'll be your day. We don't play, mess around me. Be on your way, cause it ain't enough time here. Ain't enough time here for you to shine here. Feel many women, but the trees that I spit, and I'm bigger than the city lights down in Times Square. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pretty sure Tommy Hill. Hold it right back, Big Daddy.
Are you going?
No.
So, do you have a six of spades?
Yeah, for you anything.
Thanks.
Stop! How was your day today, hon?
Don't talk to me, please.
What's your problem.
Shut up!
Honey, don't talk to your father like that.
Why do you say fuck you?
Stop it. Stop.
So, hon, do you have attend clubs?
So, how was your day today?
Shut up.
Do you have father's fades?
Yeah? Honey, what's wrong?
Don't talk to me, lesbian dyke.
Such harsh words.
Don't talk to your father like that.
You're a lesbian dyke too.
I'm proud of my sexuality.
Just shut the hell up.
Dyke is really not a nice term. Lesbian. I really like lesbian.
Okay, fine. Let's move on from this, okay? Just play your goddamn card game.
Do you have 6 of hearts?
Yeah, baby.
And you've got 5 hearts too.
You're both disgusting.
This is our chosen sexuality. I would really like that you approve
Excuse me,
of
don't
it.
talk to me,
Let's
okay?
get off the topic of lesbianism. So, honey, what are you doing tonight?
Talking to me, you're a lesbian whore. Oh, I don't know.
I'm talking to the child I can see.
Don't
The
fucking touch me, you
child-
nasty whore.
Do you have
Fucking
niece?
dyke slut.
So, when's your boyfriend picking you up?
Shut up!
Okay.
You have a boyfriend, sweetheart?
Did I say you could talk to me? Look at you nasty lesbians.
Oh, I hear your boyfriend now.
Ned, hi, how are you?
Hey, what's up? Laura, ready? This goddamn whorehouse. Let's go.
Excuse me, don't leave this house with that attitude.
Man, we have to go.
Ned,
Hello?
Ned, I'm
You're
your mother.
nasty. Leave me alone.
I'm your mother. I gave birth to you 5 hours and 16 minutes and 30 seconds.
Hello, bitch.
I was
I don't
there.
do this.
I put the egg in.
That's nasty. You're nasty. I'm happy little
Don't
crap.
leave.
Be quiet.
Ned, don't leave with her, please.
Wait. Oh my god.
Let go of your lesbian mother, Laura.
Wait, I'm serious. We gotta leave this nasty
Ned,
shit.
I heard gay men are a lot better than white women, so why don't you...
Ned,
Stop feeling up my fucking nasty whores.
Oh my god, don't leave me here with him, man. I'm not staying here.
All
Ready?
of you disgusting.
Oh
All
my
of you
god,
disgust me.
no. Oh my god, I
All
don't
of
want
you.
No, what?
You are disgusting.
What? We have to
You
go.
touch them. You touch them. You're disgusting.
I barely came up to you. What the hell was I supposed to do?
Just get out of my face.
Ned, you know you like lesbians,
Alright,
okay?
whatever. Alright, fuck you off. Ned, where are you going? I'm going to my football practice. I don't need any dykes talking to me, alright?
you look like a dyke in that jacket.
Whatever. Look at both of you.
Ned,
Shut up, all of you. Just
So
shut
you're
up.
not- So you're not leaving with me now?
No, let's get the hell out of here.
Ned!
Ned, please leave this household.
Sit
Please leave, or I'm gonna be subject to...
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Ned, please leave this household.
Ned,
I need
leave.
a minute with Trish here.
Would you shut up?
Can you obviously understand this?
Shut up. I don't listen to you. You're not my mother.
Who's
Shut up.
I am your mother.
I think we can get her on our side if you leave, Ned.
Ned? Ned?
Yeah, let's flash it.
All of you are lesbian hoducks. I hate you all.
Come on, go. Come on. Guys, I'm serious.
Let's just do things to watch.
My mom's gonna be
Lori,
here.
don't videotape.
Put it in.
That's nasty Lori. This is my stairs. The kitchen's over there bringing us all the food. TV. This is my nasty basement. Where should I cut my tire?
Laura started to get funny at the end because she got serious.
And those are all my nasty friends. Spice Girl? Okay, alright, now you're Brittany. Okay, what's your name again?
Brittany Coppin.
Brittany Coppage, alright. Alright!
Laura, do you have a cramper?
You know what?
Do you have a cramper?
If you don't stop with this talking, I'm gonna get.
Do you have a cramper? Get the camera off.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry.
Over here, thanks.
Okay.
we're running out of battery. The battery light is blinking. Let's get a shot of 2 people that I've assigned to my... Straighten her out a little bit.
If there's not a lot of battery left, we'll do it on me.
You guys ready?
I'm not figure.
You.
Alright. Oh, wait, battery's kicking in again. Okay, fine.
Not a lot of battery.
Now,
Charge the battery.
Other apples? Don't fill it.
I don't want to wait.
I don't know what's under that thing. Alright, now getting back to... Ooh, okay. No, can you do a little song for us? Please, now, if you can just turn this... Can you not be in the way of the talent, please?
Yes.
Okay, now. Kelly, that's very lovely. Can you not mind her? Can you turn back down, please? We are doing an audition.
I don't want to do a video of Britney.
Can you just sing a couple notes for us, please? Okay, alright.
You guys don't want to do that?
Alright, we're gonna have the Fly Girls now do their... Alright. Now all we're gonna do is we're gonna have the girls come in and then just gonna tell us, they can talk for like 4 minutes and then we're gonna have them go because I don't know how long. Now can you just I'm gonna do the introduction, you're gonna hold the camera for me, okay?
Okay.
And we're going to take it and I'm just gonna do the 5 minutes introduction, then I'm gonna have it come in and then we're gonna talk and then...
It's recording, dear.
I know, I'm just okay. Okay, so you take it now and we're gonna do the...
Do you want me to introduce anyone?
No, you're gonna take it now, I'm gonna do the introduction about...
Well, I want to do the introduction.
No, you don't know what you're talking about there, okay? And then, now take the camera and do...
The influence of American prostitutes in France has gone to a very high level.
Was I not on
The
it?
immigrants are coming in and they're taking over
Was I not on it at
the
all?
streets and it's recording, darling. You cannot be doing what it's recording! Cut! Turn it off! Stop interrupting or I'm talking.
But listen, I
You
swear.
weren't honest, but you weren't what I was talking before. I was recording, okay? Yeah, let's
Because I
go.
had a good English accent.
Yes, you were very lovely. Stop recording. Do it over.
Okay. I stopped it.
No, you did not, because the red button's on.
Mm.
The influence of American prostitutes in France has grown from 25% to 50% in the last 5 years. The immigrants are taking over the French streets and being beaten by their pimps and whores. They have taken on accustomed French costumes equipped with these kind of hats and this French European look. However, can you focus on my head, please, darling? My head. Now we're going to interview 3 French prostitutes who have been on the streets for at least 6 months and they've had sex with at least 105 guys each. Now, and we'll meet them now. Cut.
It's recording! Okay, lovely.
Excuse me. That's not funny. Get out.
Okay.
Okay.
Damn.
Bianca, come in here.
Yeah, let's go.
Come in here. Our interview's starting.
Hi.
Hi.
What's your girl's
Excuse
name?
me. She's not supposed to talk to you. She's just the stage hand. Can you not be talking to the people?
I want to be
no,
in the
I don't.
video.
No, you're not in the video. We should just sit back there and
Why
shut up.
don't you just let her ask the questions?
Well,
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Okay,
yeah.
darling, you're not a prostitute. If you want to join the group, then you have to go up there and get a little outfits like that. All right, hello, girls. Now, you're 3 American. Get out of the shop, please. Now,
ask us questions.
hello, girls. You are 3 American prostitutes that moved to France. How long ago? 6 months was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 months ago. Now, where did you all originally live?
No, let's get the little girls' names first, Pierre.
You know what? My name is not you. I'm a female. Will you shut up, please? No. No, I'm a female. Have you got noticed with the necklace and the heart and the blonde hair? No,
All right,
I'm not.
All right.
Are you my wife?
You were just the stagehand. I
Hey,
picked you up
get
off the
on
street
with
so you
it.
would not be living with the rats. Now,
Let's get the girls' names.
where did you originally live, all of you?
Well,
You first.
I'll tell. She's from the Bronx.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, Queens.
Don't touch me. Please.
What side? Upper East?
The ghetto? Okay.
Okay, can't you tell? Look at her attitude. I'm from West Hartford, Connecticut,
That's Hartford.
and she is from West Hartford, Connecticut also.
Does she talk, darling? Do you talk?
No, she just humps a lot.
What's your names?
You redhead girl. What's your name?
Jade. Okay.
Jed.
Jade.
What a scary
say it?
name. Jade's a scary name.
Alright, you know what? One moment, guys. If you don't shut up, Frank, I'm going to kill you, so you have to stop it. Alright, continuing with this. Now, what was your name, darling?
Jade.
And I got your name. I don't mean you, I mean her. What's your name, darling?
Bianca?
Bianca?
Yeah.
And your name?
Another vagina, baby.
That's okay, that's very different. Now, were these your names originally, or did you change them for the European purposes?
What European purposes would that be, honey?
This was always my name.
We are going to get one thing quite clear before we actually embark on this thing. I am not your honey. I'm a female. You are just my. I am not your husband.
Yeah, what are you keeping here? Alright.
I'm sorry. All right. So now, how many men have you all slept with in total or separately?
In Paris or?
And I mean your in Paris. Yes, darling. Your occupation. Can you not be touching my neck, please?
I think it's a little too many to count.
Well, I think I've
Oh,
kept track.
attitude from the little scurrier.
the little what? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, what is that one doing? Are you lesbians?
No.
No, she's a prostitute.
She's the
So
lesbian.
you can't be a lesbian.
No, she gets paid by men.
All right, we're distraying from the subject. I wanted to get.
Okay,
you know,
ask
say
the
what's
question.
How many men have you slept with separately or in total, or each of you?
About. Okay. You don't need to give me attitude. I'm answering the
Okay,
question.
well.
Hey,
All right. Do you apply your,
what you colours?
if I can get my ghetto language right, your hard ass attitude in the streets of France?
Go, girl, dear.
Thank
That
you,
was
thank
great.
you. Okay, word up to your mother. Do you use that link?
Okay.
Do you want?
Yeah, I use the language in France.
Now, have
alright?
you kicked anyone's black ass lately?
I think it's booty, dear. It's booty.
Booty. Have you kicked anyone's booty lately? When you were in France?
Yeah,
didn't
I
get
want
the
to kick your
numbers.
ass right now.
Okay, that's lovely.
Honey, we didn't get the numbers.
Okay.
Would you stop trying to get in
okay.
camera, please? Get back
That's
where
it.
you belong. Okay, she's a tough one, isn't she? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, getting back to your thing. Now, what's your story? You're from where, did you say?
West Hartford.
I thought she was from West Hartford.
We both are.
And where did you come up with this one?
Where did
She
you get the bird?
tracked us down with the
She-
agency, I think.
Did she
Was
try?
that how we met?
You have an agency. Now, what did you do? You have a pimp?
Yes.
A pimp daddy,
His
as they
name's
would call it
Brittany.
in America, right? Is it pimp daddy?
I think so.
Let me check.
The agency's called Pussy Manifesto.
Pussy.
Excuse me.
It's
Hard
manifest-
up, dear. I thought you were supposed to.
No, it's hard ass, dear. It's
Oh,
hard
hard
ass.
ass.
Dear. Did you check your list of
I do
lingo?
have an attitude, okay?
Did
Do
you
you
check
want
our
to take
list?
this outside?
Oh, no.
No, thank you.
No, can you just not upset the... Okay.
A latte?
Now, would you shut up, please? Now, you girls, you two, have come from the same town, and what's drawn you to this kind of occupation?
Excuse me, what?
I
What
can
was the
answer.
question?
I can answer.
Why did
Alright,
you decide
okay,
to come
you
to
answer for the
Paris to be a
group.
prost? I'm sorry, is there a lot of prostitution in where you
Oh,
live?
where's your hat?
Excuse me, darling, I'm not talking to you. Can you wait for your turn, please?
Yeah.
Can we
Okay.
stop taping for a moment?
Yeah, seriously.
What's that?
See on camera.
Well,
I'm having
actually-
a phone call.
Wait, is that my phone?
Oh, yes, darling. We're all here. Well, okay. Okay.
Seriously.
I want to get her getting a thing.
Blair, it's Brittany. He wants to know if you're wet.
Yeah, okay.
Hello?
Can you tell him we need to go?
Well, I'm not wet, but Lori's dripping down her leg if you want to talk to her.
Who's Lori?
Jade is dripping down her leg. It's
Let me
coming
talk.
in white chunks, okay?
All right.
Is that what they
Next
find
time we
attractive
tell
in
you
this
to call
country?
us,
I found
no,
it.
Okay.
She's just
Okay.
been diagnosed with chlamydia.
Yeah,
So she has to get a pickup medication.
I don't
from-
think so, and I don't think
the
either one of
store.
you skankos should be talking. So here you go.
Yeah, but at least we use protection.
Hold on.
You just do whatever.
Who cares?
Alright, now getting back to my pimp story. Do you have a pimp on agent?
I'm done.
Can you stop trying to get on? No, sit down, darling. We're not done yet.
No, I'm done.
There's a three. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, we lost one, didn't we? All right, there she goes. All right, she's throwing her clothes back though. Do you know you, darling? Now what? What does your mother think of these?
You don't know it, but I'm your mother, dear.
Oh, Okay, we're gonna solve that. Can you not be trying to change the whole movie scene,
I have
please?
to turn this off, dear. It's getting old. Is that what word you're using? Oh, United States.
But he's trying to get on the video because she
Yeah.
has a really sucky English accent. She doesn't know how to act. So therefore, she compensates with making stupid remarks and trying to get in the video by diving into the scene. You did? No, you didn't.
Not recording right now. Now it's recording, Kelly.
go on, and you get to do so many fun things in town, aside from all the work that's fun too. Now I'm going to say a few things that some people aren't going to be interested in, but I don't care because I'm going to come back and look at this and I'm going to see how much I've changed when I'm a senior in high school and whenever I'm a 7th grader right now. And when I come back, I want to see how much I've changed. My favorite song is Nothing's Gonna Change My Love for You by Glenn Medeiros. My favorite actress is Sandra Ferguson. My favorite actor is Wally Kurth. My favorite show is Another World. And my favorite food is spaghetti, and in the future I hope to eat pasta. Tell everything I like though, or no?
my name is Richard Scott. I've been in TAP for 1 year now, and like the thing I like most about TAP is like the trips that you go on and a lot of the opportunities that you get, and you know, it's like fun because once you get an opportunity, I always take the opportunity. Some kids don't, but you know, I think that if you have the opportunity to do something, you should take advantage of it. And the program's fun because like we go on trips and we learn stuff, you know, that's new. Like, you know, not just that it's fun, it's just you learn a lot of new stuff. Thanks.
So, I'm George Schwartz, and I think when over the summer, as I think of TAP, I'm going to be thinking of the teachers, you know, Mr. McGrath with his mad face, you know, this Rick Nichols trying to act like Mr. Budlong, thinking she's all the boss. You know, Mr. Budlong.
Hey, I'm sick of this. You're gonna be like that, you can get out.
I'm also gonna remember a lot of other things, you know, like the trips and stuff. I always get in trouble. You know, like Frost Valley, one tubing and stuff, Mr. McGrath, you know, he's a pretty funny dude. I like that. It's pretty cool. Man, I remember my friends over the summer. Friend, Jonas. Hey, Jonas. He's a really cool dude, man. He changed. He used to wear this little beret. Last year in East, I made fun of him. It was very funny.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, most of all, I think I'm going to remember Mr. Box, Dorothy Joke. She's really dumb. You know, who makes up jokes like that about the war? He brings a cane with a compass. Anything. So I gotta go. So long, bye.
Hey.
I'm Sally Jacobson. I'm in 7th grade. My favorite music is Pink Floyd. My older brother's a jerk. I'm moving to Colorado. I like to ski. I like girls. I like coming to school. I like drawing. I like making people look bad in my pictures. I like student government. My brother's a jerk. And that's it.
Hi, I'm Julie Bonet. This is a really big year in TAP. I like being in TAP. Well, this summer I'll be water ski, and I'll be thinking of all of my friends in TAP, and I'll be thinking of and I'll be thinking of Mr. McGrath and Mr. Bloodlong, and Mr. Bach. Mr. McGrath, I know he needs a break. Really. And they all work really hard, and they're all good teachers. And I think anyone, oh yeah, Mrs. McNichol, sorry. And I know, they're all really great, and I really like TAP a lot.
I've been TAP 2 years, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do when I get older, but whatever I do, I'm hoping TAP will help me, whatever I'm going to do.
Oh yeah, that's good. Well, I think the thing that's helped me the most is, although Mr. Budlong, some of his teaching ways with his writing, that kind of geeky sometimes, but I think they've helped because I had to write applications and stuff, and some of his writing worked, but that's all. Kent wanted to say something.
No. TAP is great. It's like, it's so cool. I mean, like, I mean, all the teachers are like really good. They help you and everything, and they build up your on the trips. They help you. They let you set your own goals. They don't push you too hard. And I mean, like, this is like the best year in middle school I've had. So thank you, Missy. So thank you. So that's all I want to say. And so I'm gonna forget it. That's it.
Michelle Simon. That's me.
Okay, go.
I've been here for 2 years, and I've met a lot of nice people, and they all familiar as we got.
Tap was fun and taught me a lot about, like,
I've been here for 2 years, and the thing I really remember about TAP is all the opportunities and how much help we got from the teachers and all the nice people we met as our friends. And one thing I'd like to say is hope to see Justin in high school.
TAP was really fun and, like, the trips we got from doing the work and just, like, meeting everybody that I didn't know last year, meeting people and teachers. It was just fun. And I'll see Justin in my show that. Thanks. Hi. I'm Becky. I'm Missy. And this is Andrea. We can't forget about Mr. Bach and like how he's like such a geek and stuff. Because he's so geek with pizza. That's such a geek. And I don't know, I'm gonna miss the 8th grade class. It's like I don't know. But I want Andrea to talk. This is Andrea. It's better to have a shorty.
Oh dear, what can the matter be? Why doesn't he come and guess we'll be arriving soon? I don't understand. Run quick so we go so you can find my food. Tell her I desire her to come to this room. Where have you been? I have been worried about you. It's practically time for our party to Oh, I've been in the kitchen baking the tart. After all, I couldn't let anyone else bake them. But everything's all ready. My dear, haven't you forgotten something? I don't believe so. Let me silverware, creams, and macaroni. No, I don't mean that. I'm sure you have everything perfectly right. I mean that. My goodness, I am getting I'm getting forgetful. Now! How do I look now? Beautiful, my dear, and charming. Thank you. Oh, I hope Mother gets to try safe. I feel sure they will. After all of their stories end, and they all live happily ever after. It would never do for anything unpleasant to happen. I know, I try to keep it running. You know how traffic is in the highways. All of them as good as their castles, paying no attention to what happens to this one. I didn't expect you to all come by coach and horse. I can't help feeling uneasy. All right, thank you. Now don't worry, or else you won't be able to enjoy yourself. You have such a wonderful idea. Nothing could be more suitable than the king and queen to have a birthday party. And the guests you've invited, princesses, and peasant boys, and each one set a most unusual way. So hard to figure out. Good evening, my dear. Don't tell me I'm the first one here. We're happy that you are Princess Cinderella. You know, I was so in the habit of living parties, but I just can't seem to realize that now I can stay as long as anyone else. I always want to start early so that I have a longer time to play. Would you like the cake to take your bag? No, thank you. I'll just keep it right with me. You see, it's next to Fair put in their pocket for a souvenir. The last dance I attended, I had to go home in my stockinged feet. We almost had an accident. See, I told you so. What happened, my dear? Oh, a huge one. Didn't your husband the prince come with you? Cinderella's prince. I hope you're right. You are not late. The other guests have not yet arrived. Oh dear, I do hope nothing has happened to them. The queen is question, Maria. I trust that Cinderella will come. She's always nervous around midnight. You just can't seem to remember that I cooked. Cannot turn into a pumpkin if you stare after her. Sleeping Beauty and her prince. You didn't have anything to put in the way. Oh, I know. Nothing happens to us. That's just the trouble. Nothing ever does happen. The princess is always expecting something exciting to happen. Each morning she has how many years she has slept? I've given you really lots of choices and it's so flexible, but it's frightfully expensive. After I woke up, I had to buy an entire new wardrobe. It's a big style. Nothing I had was made to wear. Princess Rapunzel and the Prince. My dear Rapunzel, I hardly recognize you. What has happened to you? Don't you like my new hairdo? I just love short hair. How I ever stood here and just dragged on the floor is more than I can see. Somehow I just can't get used to it. But you're attracted me to her, first of all. You didn't have to spend hours and hours combing my hair each day when I didn't even go into the shower. Personally, I prefer small feet. Sorry, it's so much to be jealous, isn't it? Snow White and her prince. You're looking very lovely, my son. Rosie and Apple. No, don't say that. Did your Majesty? Then my Princess Snow White gives birth to her apple. You may recall that it was an apple that very nearly caused her death. To be sure, it was silly of me. What I mean, dear Snow White, was your cheeks are as red as roses. Forgive me, Your Majesty, for seeming to speak to you so rudely. You are indeed very sweet to understand me. Are all the guests here, my dear? All but Princess Matilda and her husband. Are they coming? Of course, they're to associate with the peasant boy, especially one who's supposed to be acting. I agree with you for her. Now what shall I do? I told you something unpleasant would happen. Princess Matilda. Oh, look at your
Okay, now shake them up.
And separation. And it's very difficult to separate from someone, like your parent, when your parent's always right, when they're always good, when they're always doing the right thing, when they're so perfect. You know, when kids are growing up, before they're preteens, they need us very much. And hopefully, if the relationship and the emotional dynamics are correct, we are their support and we give them all that they need. The whole process of preteens and teens is to separate. They can't separate from someone who's so great. They've got to make you into the bad guy. Then they have a reason to separate. Okay? So no matter how good you are, no matter how hard you try, you're making them separate even more. You're making them find reasons why you're not perfect. So that's one of the sources of defiance. And in a sense, that individuation process, that pushing away, you know, as perfect as you are maybe, and we all certainly are not, as good parents as you can be, is the source sometimes for making you into the bad guy. So that's the reason why you get things like, just because you told me to do my homework by 9 o'clock is exactly why I won't. Well, let's go to homework. That homework is your percentage.
Time.
So you're going to go to the diner, and that's why you want to stay out later than 8:30. I really need you back at 8:30. Why? Because I know that you have a science fair project that's due in 2 days, and I would really like you to tell me the progress that you've made.
But I finished it. I handed it in already.
Oh, okay. Well, then
I agree with that.
Okay, what's going on here?
We're talking.
Well, talking, but what kind of talking? Well, not, you know, we started getting somewhere.
You're talking.
Why? Oh, yeah, Rochelle said it. She said, why? Important. The kind of sharing that was going on here, and I know these are all simplified examples, but is informing. I said to Rochelle at one point, I want to tell you why I need you back at 8:30. And she said, why? Which is another kind of behavior. That's opening behavior. Rochelle said to me, why? She's opening me up to tell her what my needs were, why I wanted her back at 8:30. Those were my needs. I had some real needs here. And then I started to tell her, I started to inform her. Rochelle, I started to inform Rochelle. In my informing, she picked up on it immediately and asked me why, open me up. And I started to give her some of the reasons why. So I started to share some of my needs, and when she gave me some information about her, oh, I know this was a setup in the TV, and that one, but I really couldn't, I may have had some other needs if the conversation had gone on, but certainly one of the reasons that I was telling her to be back at 8:30, she took care of it. We were sharing some information. We were going back and forth. These are two kinds of behaviors, informing and opening. Informing is, of course, giving information. And opening behavior is getting the other to tell you what their needs are. Is a skill called active listening. Does anybody, have you had any experience, anyone here with active listening? Exactly. Active listening is, let's try it again. So Rochelle, I understand that you want to stay up past 8:30 because your science fair project is finished and you had an appointment with your friends, you're going to meet your friends at the diner. Is that right? Okay. We just moved in our negotiation to a new level. Now, Rochelle, I understand what her needs are, and she knows that I understand. Okay? That's a very important skill. If you do nothing else, mastering the skill of active listening, letting the other person know that they are being heard, is an important skill in successful negotiation because it moves the negotiation off of positions and moves it toward needs. Okay, so now we've established that. Well, you can meet your friends. I think it's important for you to meet your friends and convey that. But my need here, and I can go on and now discuss my needs for you because she knows that she's been heard and we're both open now to discussing what her needs are. I need you back because I have work to do at the office and somebody's got to be here with your brother.
Only for 9:30.
By 9:30, she's already compromised. She's already compromising because nobody's defensive and everybody's sharing information. And she's going to have her needs met and I'll have my needs met too. That's led us to the solution, which is, well, we haven't come up with alternative solutions, but we've come up with one solution, which was a compromise. Actually, if we had kept the discussion going, we may have come up with lots of solutions. We may have even found a way for Rochelle to stay out later, if indeed it was all right. I think I would have had other needs come up with this too. I may have, just as a parent, thought that staying out past midnight was wrong. And I may have said, and Rochelle, that's one of my needs. I think staying out past midnight is wrong. I think staying out past midnight is wrong.
Why? What's wrong with it?
Okay, why? It's okay, she's opening me up, and I have to respect you're safe. I worry for you. Letting somebody else know that you care about them is very important. You can be honest and say those things. I really care about, maybe it's my problem that I care too much, but I think 4 hours with your friends at the diner is enough. So if you want to stay up until midnight, maybe we can talk about it, but not right now. Keeping it open. Maybe we can talk about it. I'll find out what your needs are. What are your real needs here, Rochelle? This is a big issue for me. Respect me for that. It's a big issue for me. I'm a parent and I care enough to say to you it's a big issue. I don't want to close the door on it. So let's just take some time out and talk about it when we have a lot of time to talk about it. That way you can tell me why it's so important to you. I'll listen. Maybe you got a good reason. But not tonight. But at that point, Rochelle is already respecting my not tonight. Because she knows that I'm listening and that I will hear what she has to say about staying out this midnight when there's time to talk about it, because it's a big issue. Well, we didn't have much time, and all I could do really was lay out the process of negotiation for you. I hope that these are the behaviors: attacking, evading, forming, opening, and if you look at it, it's just a little cute memory device. It's A-E-I-O. Uniting behavior is the final behavior. We'll talk about it. Okay? I'm acknowledging you have some needs. I'm telling you that I have some needs about your staying out this midnight. We're on the same team. We have some common goals here. We'll talk about it. It's uniting behavior. It's letting the other person know that we care enough that we can follow through. Finding some common ground. The common ground in the example I just gave Rochelle was, I care. And she cares enough to respect the fact that I feel that way about her. So we'll talk further about staying up next midnight. A-E-I-O-U. You don't want to use attacking behavior. You don't want to use evading behavior. But informing, opening, and uniting behavior, I-O and U, sometimes leads to alternative solutions, or yes. It's just what you want. You want everybody to have a yes in the negotiation. Right? So I-O-U behaviors sometimes lead to yes. These are skills that we have to develop and take time. Start with active listening. focus on the needs, not the positions. Listen to yourself, listen to what the other person's saying. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Called a metrologic neon laser. This is a simple but effective piece of equipment for our experiments. As you can see, with only 1 milliwatt of energy, it is a very strong beam. Now let's go to our experiments, shall we? All lasers must have 3 parts to make the machine work. The name for one of these parts is the energy, or power source. This source is usually electricity, but can sometimes be another source of light or even another laser. This piece is probably the most needed part in this operation. Another important piece to the laser is the active medium. This part is where the laser is actually formed. The active medium can be made up of 3 things. It can be a solid material such as a ruby, a liquid such as certain dyes, or it can be a gas such as carbon dioxide. The last piece of the laser is called a feedback mechanism. It is made by placing 2 mirrors at each end of the tube in which active medium is located. These mirrors are the main pieces that make the light more focused on an object that you may be performing your experiment on. Okay, our experiment was to try to make a laser show. Now, the first equipment we needed was, of course, the laser. Now, This is to point on the speaker at a mirror and reflect onto the ceiling. The speaker needs the sound to vibrate. So we have hooked up a box. Now we've tried various types of music, and now we'll put our show to work. Hold on as I get the lights. Now we pump up the bass to full, and the power to full. And this is our first type of music.
Divorce in New York State. But if one person is guilty, that person can't get a divorce. It's only the innocent spouse who can get the divorce. And if they're both guilty, it can be worked out. But if you have an innocent spouse who has been abused, yes.
But wasn't there like I thought I heard like on the radio or something, some kind of thing they have where you don't need the other person's consent?
Yeah, for like $99 or something.
You can get it printed in paper.
Not in New York, that's
in Mexico.
That's how you can get a kit to start a divorce. That's what they're at.
Oh, that's just the
Do
start.
it yourself. Do it yourself divorce.
I've heard also if, say the person is like away, if you have a, I don't understand, but like say that you put an advertisement in a small town newspaper like 2 million miles away, saying that announcing your divorce, I heard for a certain amount of time that means you're divorced or something.
No. You have to start a divorce by giving the other person a summons that says this is an action for divorce in very bold letters. And that has to be handed to them personally if you possibly can. And they have to have actual notice of what's happening. One person...
Personally by you?
No, never by you. By anybody in the world over 18 years of age except you. Okay? I usually use a process server or a friend who will find this person and hand them something that says in very big letters, action for divorce. If you cannot find the person, then you have to get a court order for a different way to serve the person. Sometimes it involves putting an ad in a newspaper where they're likely to read it, not in a newspaper 100 miles away, but in their hometown newspaper, and mailing it to them and putting it on their door and doing a whole lot of things so that they get actual notice. Because the law really doesn't want one person thinking he's married and the other person knowing she's divorced. So they're very, very strict about personal service of the summons for divorce. Now, the first step in getting the divorce, if it's nasty, is the summons. If it's not nasty, the first step is a letter saying our marriage is from a lawyer, saying our marriage isn't working out, we'd like you to get a lawyer, we'd like you to contact my office. And then you try to work things out without going initially to court and without getting nasty. A summons says this is an action for divorce on the basis of cruel and inhuman treatment, adultery, abandonment, or living apart. But you would certainly know if you've been living apart pursuant to an agreement for a year. And then the next piece of paper that gets served, or they could be together, is a complaint. And the complaint really spells out date, time, and place of each act that's being complained of. My wife hit me on this date, she cursed at me on another date in front of the kids. All of those specifics get spelled out in a complaint. Now, the law is somewhat crazy about adultery. If the ground for divorce is adultery, you have to have corroboration. It can't be just one kind of proof. And if both parties have committed adultery, they'll say neither one of you can get divorced. Not too clever. Okay. It's not to be understood. It's stupid. So that usually people do not allege adultery. People usually allege cruel and inhuman treatment or abandonment. The abandonment has to be living away without the other party's consent for a period of a year, or refusal to have sexual relations for a year.
That's,
Abandonment.
you mean even if they're still living in the same household, they just don't want?
If one of them wants and the other does not, and that goes on for a period of a year, that's grounds for divorce. It's called constructive abandonment.
What if it's like you did it for a complete month and then you didn't for 11 months?
You've got to wait for the 12th month without doing it. 12 months. Okay.
I heard that people get married, they go on the honeymoon, and if they don't have like sex, to complete the marriage, say it's grounds for an annulment of the marriage.
Annulment is different. It doesn't have to be that there was sex on the honeymoon or absence of sex on the honeymoon. Annulment is basically based upon fraud. One person held out that he wanted to have children and the other one, and turns out he didn't. One person said, of course I want to have sex with you, and then refused to do so. It's based usually on fraud. Okay, it's rather hard to get. The usual way to get divorce is to base it upon abandonment or constructive abandonment. An awful lot of constructive abandonment. Or cruel and inhuman treatment.
That's like
mental cruelty or physical cruelty, or both.
Well, what kind of things are considered mental cruelty? I mean, you can say so many things that...
Not talking to one another, cursing at one another, threatening harm.
So anything like that?
Anything like that which causes the person, which is intended to cause anguish, and which causes the person to receive it, to have some kind of reaction that makes it inappropriate, improper, or unsafe to continue to live together. People whose normal form of vocabulary is to curse at one another will not go into court and get a divorce because one cursed at the other. But people who are totally humiliated by this kind of language in public may be able to get a divorce. So what's cruel to one person is not necessarily cruel to another. The longer the marriage, the more difficult it is to prove cruelty. Because they say after 20 years of living together, you have to accept some problems, whereas after 20 days, you don't have to be yelled at and screamed at that way. So that for a longer-term marriage, it's harder to get divorced. For a shorter-term marriage, cruelty certainly includes any kind of physical violence or threats. Frequently, it includes refusal to socialize with the family, walking out and not telling the person where you are, bragging about affairs you've had, bragging about criminal acts, drugs, whatever. Anything that's really going to affront the other person and going to cause the other person to lose sleep, to become anxious, to not want to be married to you, to feel unsafe in walking into the house.
Is it like anything that's done? I mean, any of the grounds that you mentioned, right? If it's done by both, then it doesn't count.
Well, you can't both abandon the other one because you can't. Okay, they're mutually exclusive. But you can both have cruel and inhuman treatment. You can be cruel to one another. If you beat up each other, each one can get a divorce. It's not mutually exclusive. Okay? So you frequently have divorces where each party divorces the other based upon cruel and inhuman treatment. Cruel and inhuman treatment can involve locking the other person out of the bedroom, locking the other person out of the house, turning on scalded hot showers, hiding somebody's belongings, taking them out of the house. A course of conduct that's intended to and does make it unsafe or improper to live in the same house. Let's assume that's taken care of, that there are grounds for divorce, or that the people agree that they both want a divorce, so that they're going to sign an agreement. What other things do they have to address in the course of discussing how we're going to live apart? Yeah. Okay. They have to discuss their children, and they have to discuss money.
Well, law in general, that from the sparks of conflict, will illuminate the truth. And the idea is if your parents giving their evidence, and the county attorney and child protective services are giving their evidence, and the child is represented by an attorney who can give the child's viewpoint if the child's old enough, or at least to protect it, all of those viewpoints on the situation will come together in the family court. The family court judge can then have all the evidence, all the facts, to make a decision. Okay? Anybody have any questions about how that works? Right? If the family court makes a finding that there's abuse or neglect, then you go to the next stage, which is what do you do about it. Yes?
What happens if the retarded, kid can't talk or like
has problem speaking, how does he tell them that? How does he tell his side of the story?
The attorney or the parent?
No.
Or the child?
But how does the attorney find out the information because the kid can't talk? Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, there are a couple things you can do. Everybody does it a little differently. First of all, you can get a lot of information out of very young children as an attorney. As you know, you can get a lot out. The other thing that there are other ways of doing things. If it's just a baby, I, as a law guardian, almost never interview my babies, that I represent, because all I'm going to really be able to do is make sure the child doesn't have any bruises or anything like that. What you do is you find out. We can find out what's happening just the way anybody else does. I can talk to the parents. I can talk to neighbors. I can talk to relatives, grandparents, schools. I can get all that information if I want to. If the child has a physical problem, there are ways of dealing with that. The child, you can get interpreters, dealing with another language, all that. So you can do it that way. Otherwise, the idea of law guardian is partly to bring the child's viewpoints to the case. The other idea is to have an independent person, because the counties sometimes have interests in it. Their bureaucracies say this is what happened. So they kind of have to defend their bureaucracy. And the parents say another way, say their version. Sometimes there's a third viewpoint. Sometimes that happens. And you have a law guardian who can go out and bring in other evidence and anything else you need to bring to that court. Okay? I'll tell you where the law guardian becomes very, very important. Okay? So first you have the incident. What happened or didn't happen. Right? Then you have the question of what do you do about it. And at that time, the family court judge tries to get all the information it can about the family. Okay? Initially, all the family court judge cares about is, did it happen? Is it true? Did the incident occur? Is the parent a neglectful parent or not? Once you get to that, then you have questions. Do you take the child out of the home? Right? You put supervision in the home, meaning that a caseworker can pop into the home anytime, any day. Someone can look over the kid every 2 or 3 months to see if there are any bruises. You put orders on the parent. Parents, you're not allowed to hit your child. You have to go into an alcoholism program. You have to go to a sexual abuse training to prevent further occurrences. Where does the child go to? Does the child go to a foster home? Does the child go to some kind of group home? Does the child go to some kind of residential school, usually upstate, far away from everybody? Okay? What do? Does the child go to a relative? What kind of visits does the parents get? Do they get weekend visits, or can they be trusted in holidays, or maybe they can't be trusted. Maybe they can only get visits with someone else there to prevent some kind of dangerous situation. And a law guardian often there has a very big role in bringing a lot of evidence, and often, particularly with the child, if the child's old enough, where the child wants them. Okay? Do you have any questions about that? I'm going to make sure I leave room for questions. So let me talk to you about another kind of a situation. And it will bring up an important part of family law. What happens if you have a parent who is mentally ill? Okay? Mentally ill parent has a baby, but just can't handle the baby. Just doesn't do anything. Right? You know, as a caseworker, that you've got a mentally ill parent. All right? Who's been in and out of hospitals. The parent hasn't done a thing. Okay? Can you take that child away from that parent? Even at the hospital? What do you think? No? Why? Okay. Any other reviews? Yes, why? The question is, okay, correct answers. If the law is there to protect children, okay?
So what's wrong with this child?
The child is perfectly healthy. The child is perfectly healthy. If the parent is in some way, by their physical nature, because they're mentally ill, they can be retarded, or other ways, cannot take care of that child.
But that's
What?
Is the kid growing up right?
Well, the kid is just born. Kid is just born. Kid is just born. This is a real life situation. just been born, the hospital staff is concerned that the parent can't take care of their child. What? So you have to speak louder because they're you have to take a chance. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Well, all right. That's. Anybody else have any ideas on this? Okay. Let me tell you some of the ways what happens. First of all, the Family Court Act is partly based on acts or omissions. You either did something that you shouldn't have done, like hitting a child in a way that you're not allowed to hit, like with a belt or with a paddle, which in New York State you're not allowed to do. The only way you're allowed to be hit is with the back of the hand on a backside. Okay? All right? Other than that, there's potential, at least, for abuse and neglect.
Third cousin, just not a brother or sister, even if it's a stepbrother or sister, you cannot get married. And those are basically, so the rules on who you cannot get married to or when you cannot get married are fairly narrow and fairly simple.
Males, like if there were 2 gay guys, are they allowed to have married?
Beg your pardon?
2 gay guys?
Well, that's a good question. The law curiously presumes that people of opposite sex get married. The statutes, when I was looking through the statutes, they didn't specifically state that, but what they talk about is men and women getting married and husbands and wives. So 2 women and 2 men technically or 2 men technically could not get married in the state of New York. I'm not aware, to be honest with you. I know men and women do get married. Usually the issue is who is going to, I think it's really more symbolic marriage. And New York State and a lot of states, there are laws against sodomy, which is having sexual relations with someone of the same sex. So if 2 men wanted to get married or 2 women, that would present some legal issues for them, the possible criminal prosecution. Now, recently, in the United States, there's been a whole issue about privacy and what people can do in the privacy of their own homes, husbands and wives, consenting adults. And unfortunately, recently, the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, said that sodomy can be prosecuted, that you did not have a constitutional right of privacy, even in your own home, to be protected from prosecution from sodomy laws. And that case before the Supreme Court came up, where a policeman came in to someone's home to exercise an arrest warrant. And a roommate answered the door and said, well, the fellow you're looking for is in the bedroom. Well, the policeman walked into, and come on in. When the policeman walked into the bedroom, and he was engaged in a homosexual act with another man. And they charged him with that. And the Supreme Court said that that wasn't a violation of privacy, even though it was in the person's own home, in the privacy of their bedroom, 2 consenting adults. Now, after that decision in New York, the Attorney General has taken the position that under New York law, under New York constitutional law, that those type of acts in privacy are protected by the New York Constitution. So possibly, at least in a symbolic way, 2 men in New York could get married. Now, they wouldn't have the protections of New York law if they, quote, divorced or separated, because New York wouldn't recognize the marriage. On the other hand, they probably would not be prosecuted under New York law because New York Constitution recognizes privacy. So that question raises a lot of interesting issues. But New York, you could probably get away with it, but you wouldn't have the protections that marital laws provide. In terms of how you go about getting married, everyone's pretty much familiar with the typical ways. In New York, as in most places, you can get married by a clergyman, a justice of the peace, a judge, a town clerk, the mayor of the city. The one thing, though, that New York does not recognize, that is recognized in some states, is called common law marriage. Is anyone familiar with that? Have you heard the term?
Yeah. If you're like living together in the same house and It's pretty much like a marriage, but there's no actual vows, and it goes on for a certain amount of years. You considered married by the laws and protected that way.
Well, that's one of the things that varies from state to state. As a general proposition, people are common law married if they live together and hold themselves out as husband and wife.
Yeah, I know people like that. They have kids. Or...
Yeah. So if you live together, but don't just say we're living together and don't hold yourself out as husband and wife, then you're not common law married. It takes those two things. One, living together as husband and wife, and holding yourself out to the public as husband and wife. Now, New York State doesn't recognize that. So if you move in with a friend and you hold yourself out as husband and wife, but don't go through the ceremony, in New York, it's not recognized.
Is it?
It is not. Okay. Now, there's an exception to that rule. In some states, like in Virginia, where I practice law, common law marriages are recognized. And what New York does do is if you become common law married in some state that recognizes it. For example, if you were living in Virginia and holding yourself out as husband and wife, and then you moved to New York, then New York would recognize that marriage. So if you're validly married in any state in the United States, including by a common law marriage, then New York recognizes that.
Isn't it illegal to live with somebody, though?
Well, that gets back to that question that was raised about, say, two men getting married. There are also laws against fornication. You know, there's laws in the books that say people, even consenting adults, are not allowed to have sex unless they're married. And as a practical matter, for the most part, they're not enforced. Although recently I heard of a man who tried to get a girlfriend prosecuted for fornication. You know, but and occasionally you'll see some small town prosecutor try to do that. But then, like in New York State, you have the whole privacy issue that comes up. So technically, it is against the law in most states. Most states haven't done away with those statutes. But no one ever is usually, for the most part, prosecuted. One of the interesting issues that comes up around the whole process, the technical process of getting married, is in a lot of states, you are required to get certain tests before you get married. For example, up until 1985,
I can't say shit. Yeah. Things go right. Yeah. Get down. What's the first one? This is the goal. Time to go. Go. Back to the face. Damn is live and the rest of it. Don't waste time. On the mic and it don't run. Jump to the rhythm. Jump to the rhythm. Jump. Now we do this night. Come on and dance. Come on and dance. Guys, grab a girl. Don't wait to talk. And up the floor. To move your butt to the dance floor. Jump this up. Here, everybody over here. Everybody over there. Come on, guys, on the dance floor. And people in the house. Move. That's the light. Move. Watch me all night. Move. Let's work. baby. Let the music take control. Let the rhythm move. Don't go too far. Let the music take control. Let the rhythm move. Watch out. When he comes on, let me do it. I want to jump, but I'm going to jump off that. Man, now it's the dance floor. Just wait till you leave. Is that dope enough? Like I'm on the mic. To the point I'm nice. Make it hard so can't dance no more. I'm going to go. Easy now. Let me move. That's right. Move. Here's Michael. Performing for CNC Music Factory. Y'all want this party started, right? Y'all want this party started quickly, right? Bang! 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 Oh, it's Mr. McGrath, Mrs. McGrath. Go! Here we go! We are going to Patricia's room. I'm battering. Here's a picture of Mike.
Try to do it a little bit more quietly. He's really getting
Here is the poster of Michael Jordan. We are going into Patricia's room. The party is packed in our rep. Cold War to war. There's my man hanging out in the back of the moon. I never seen you cook so hype before. Back to back, front door to door. Everybody dance to the new step, rockin' roll. So we're bringing our dance from the bottom to the top, to the top, to the bottom. People everywhere, jumping in the head. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Loosen your body and let me take control. Let's rock and roll. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
the hands. Go, go, go. Rock and roll, we're going slow and yo. Keep a new storm, break the norm, get warm, then swarm. Come back with me, give it up, then transform. From BB King to Bo Diddley, Ed Sullivan with the PBC, the BC with the Beatles and the Jackson 5. The rules, the doors, the rolls, souls, and even odds. It was a bitch to get rich, helping the youth that is legit. Get parents everywhere. Back in the day, the same way they did rap. Are you amazed? So DJ, let's rock and roll.
Everybody, oh, get it. See, music factories. That has to be hoped to eat it. So, that will look out to the California shore. People and the roll. Get on there, something funky with soul. People, if you're having a good time and singing along to that rhyme, this goes out to the young and to the old. Let's rock and roll.
are you planning on paying for your the whole thing? What's your occupation? Okay, and what items are you thinking of buying? Yes. Hello. Oh, how are you paying for your purchases? Okay. And what's your occupation? Oh, so you don't have any children. Why do you choose to shop with your mom? You don't. You work here. That's all.
Plenty of sunshine heading my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. It's the truth, it's actual, everything is satisfaction. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Hi, oh hi, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine heading my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Got a hammer on my shoulder. It's the truth, it's actual, everything is satisfaction. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Hi, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine heading my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. We have a store around the corner. It's the truth, it's actual, everything is satisfaction. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, wonderful day.
Well, maybe not such a wonderful day. This story is about a shopping center and some animals. You see, a shopping center was being built in a beautiful wood, and this wood was home to a great many animals. And that's the problem. Some government people are speaking to the builders right now.
I don't see what's the problem. Everything is legal. We're following all the safety rules. Why have you people come here?
Because somebody has to protect the animals, look out for their rights. Animal rights? What about the rights of the people who are investing millions in the shopping center? Don't you think they have rights?
But a lot of animals be losing their homes. And then what happens to them? We're here because they can't speak for themselves.
You do have points. But we're hired to do a job, and it's the way to make the hour schedule. This can't be the first time the shopping center has been built in the wood. What happened to the animals all those other times?
The animals move. That's what happened. What's the big deal? People move. Animals can move too.
But some of these animals are on the endangered species list. We have to try to protect them. Well, like our full lady said, we've been hired to do a job and we've got to get on with it. So, if you people are rude, we'll get started. Stay in this spot with the new stop and jump is going today.
And so the government people left and went back to Washington. The builders prepared to break ground for the new supermarket. Meanwhile, deep in the woods, the animals were having a meeting of their own.
Will this meeting please come to
word. It's now 2 weeks later. A meeting is in progress.
What you're saying, you don't want to leave the wood. Is that right? Right. We're committed to building a shopping center. That's true, but we can't ignore the animals' rights. Exactly. It's not that people realize that. Well, what's the answer? We have to honor the contract, but at the same time protect the animals. How are we going to do that? There must be a solution. I know! We'll make the land around the waterhole a sanctuary, a place where animals will be safe. And we'll build the sanctuary so that the shoppers can enjoy the animals in their natural habitat. I'm so glad I won't have to shop with Daddy Tito. And the cereal will be in the right place and not cat food. I'm glad. I don't have it. So our animal friends will be safe and they won't lose their home. I think I managed this whole thing very well. It was my idea. You don't have to dump it. Beautiful. We should have a party to celebrate. Yeah! How about the music? Looks like we've got a new beginning. It's time to go now. We have a new beginning, a chance to start all over again. It's time to go now. We have a new beginning, a chance to start all over again. Sun will be brighter now, the glow will be lighter now, the road will be clear so we can see the way together we're supposed to be. It's time to go now. We have a new beginning, a chance to start all over again. It's time to go now. We have a new beginning, a chance to start all over again. Let's get moving along. Can't wait to find where we belong. Time to waste and we're a nation to get on with our lives. It's time to go now. We have a new beginning, a chance to start all over again. It's time to go now. We have a new beginning, a chance to start all over again.
That was my sunburst. What?
Yeah, now it looks like a sunburst.
Yeah, that's what we realized we have.
I hope.
That's my dad.
Because they'll give us instructions to line us up.
Okay.
See us roll off. Then you've got like about half an hour. And if you don't see me in the main group, you know, I'm off the back. I'm going to ride 2 laps, whether I'm on the back. I'm here, ride. Well, not if you attention, I'm still going to ride at least. We have the race is 5, but if I'm off right away, I'm still going to ride 6 laps. Well, I'm not going to ride the 5 laps. Why? But I'll ride as long as I can, you know, whether I'm in it or not. So. Okay, be in there. All right.
Don't take yourself out of it, darling.
No. I'm just telling you, the way it works.
What lamp do you want us to feed you?
If you find the feed, and you see me, the 3rd time back.
Dan Glenn.
1, 2.
All right.
Okay. Good luck.
Good luck.
We'll see ya.
Bye.
Oh, Glenn.
Oh, God, I think you know, I mean, just 10 or 15 feet is all. Huh? Just are we taking your camera?
Yeah.
Are you? What? Ready for the race. Looking down to exceed.
Please.
Is he in there?
Well, what's his number? Dad, I got it. I'm down. I'm down. Dad, here. Dad, here. I'm down.
Wait. This is the leader of the pack right here. That's it.
They're faster when they come around. Dad,
Okay. Oh, wait, no, let me get this pack. You missed it. Mike, I'm sorry. Okay, I can't. I want to get this pack.
It was the bottom this time.
2-3 minutes.
Keep anything. It just went off. I got somebody. Whoa, I got trees.
Well,
Is that Uncle Len?
no, Uncle Glenn is wearing red. Uncle Glenn is wearing red.
Well, I'm going to just stay there for a while, Mom. Through all the... Okay.
Well, we might as well do it, huh? Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
I always forget how dead I am. Yeah. After a long tour. Plus, I've been working so much.
Just tell him to go for it.
All right?
There's one red there. It's so weird. It's like fly around the curve, and when you sit down, that's it. Looks like it's all water. He's coming up. Are these the girls? No, the car would be on the side. Because he's in red. Come on. He's with a little bag now, Dad. He has to be. No, but he's not. Blue balloon. Dad, can I get a blue balloon? Dad, can I get a blue balloon?
And now you biz rats, do I hear 6? Who makes it 6? I'm not sponging for rum. It be gold.